Hey guys, how's it going? Today I finally received Time of Legends Joan of Arc by Mythic Games, and it is in the biggest box I've ever gotten. It's huge. It's
bigger than hate.
It's really big. So let's get to it.
You can barely see me.
Yeah, we can barely see her. All right, let's open it up. Alright, let's get started. This is a bit of a different camera angle just because this box is so big. Otherwise you guys aren't going to see a whole lot. And once I take it out of the box, each individual box I'll put on the table and I'm going to do my traditional unboxing here. That's alright. I'll get it. I'll get it. Watch out.
Gonna try to kill me.
Nerd with a knife. Hey.
Nerd with a knife? That doesn't sound too good.
It doesn't, does it? Alright. Now, as for packaging, it looks like this is pretty good. Okay, so we got some papers here. Let's see, what is this? This is just everything I got here. I'll have to blur that out because it has my name and address on it. But I got it all in here. Okay, and then here it looks like we got King of Average. So we got, I don't know if this is replacements or what, but I do appreciate the baggies there. Well, I'm sure we'll figure all this out.
Wait, don't know the real name?
Alright, and... Alright, hold on.
Don't cut my apples.
What we got here is a cardboard box.
It's a box.
Okay, we're going to try to get a little organized here. Alright, hold on. And the neoprene mat, we'll be sure to roll that out. I do like that the neoprene mat was not folded. Looks like they individually packaged all these, which is kind of nice. Like here, yeah, you can just take these out. Let's do that. A ton of card sleeves. I'll test those out. See if I can't rip one. More card sleeves. Hold on. Here. Very thick boxes here. All right.
Barely even reach in here.
This is the legendary dragon.
That's that's how big he is?
He's big. And then
I want to open him first.
we got, looks like nothing's damaged that I can see, which is good. I think this may be the core box here. And then the Reliquary box. Now remember, this is just wave one. There's more to come. This is not everything. And an empty box. All right, let's get this out of the way.
I'm going to keep that empty box, okay?
All right, so first things first, we got the core box here. I really liked it. Everything was wrapped by itself and then kind of stuffed in the box tight enough to where it didn't look like there was a lot of movement involved or anything. You saw there's a little ding on the box itself, but otherwise that was pretty good, so thanks FedEx for that. And hey. Not right now. Oh, that's for later. Later you get to play with all the bubble wrap. I don't know if they mentioned that, but that is one of the extra benefits of the game. It's like a game on itself.
I don't need pocket knives. I need fingernails. Ha!
Very nice.
Fine.
Alright. Try not to be too loud about it. Alright. So this is a very nice finish to it. Can you hear that? Alright. And pretty much full art. It just has a little bit down here. And then, of course, Mythic Games right there. Proud of their game. They'll put their logo on there, I understand. On the back, you do not get a component list. Instead, you get a kind of a marketing pitch by the looks of it. In Time of Legends, all creatures, all that kind of stuff. Which is kind of cool. I appreciate that. And also, kids under 3, they're going to choke on this stuff. And that guy looks mean. All right. So, let's open it up. It is heavy. Like, just this box is heavy.
I tried to lift it up, and I lifted it up for a second.
All right, so you can kind of see the finish on the box there. It's quite nice. All right, first thing we got is some cubes. Let's go and open that. I'm glad it's in a resealable bag. It means once I open these, I can still put them in there and not lose them all.
They're wood.
The color is very nice. They're not too heavy. There we go. All right, sorry about that. We had to fix the autofocus, and then we started unboxing, and I realized I didn't press record because, well, you would think I'd be used to this, but perhaps I'm not. So let's look at these dice here, and I must say that they are really, really impressive. So they have great detail here. Like, if you look at just how fine of a line that is, and look at how consistent those... Did I miss one? Mm-hmm. Red one, too. How consistent that line is on all of them. Like, look at the eye detail there. Very well done. And I have looked at quite a few of these now, and I don't see any that are bleeding over or are chipped or missing or anything like that. I don't know exactly. I don't believe it's like this is black plastic going all the way down, so technically it could chip out, but I haven't seen any that are doing that yet. These look really good. I like the curved edges of them. They're going to roll really nice. The colors, by the way, I believe this red is this red because of colorblind. I've seen it done in a few games. As a colorblind person myself, I do appreciate when I can tell the difference between all the colors. Sometimes if there's an orange and a red, I can't tell the difference too much. It just, these are good. These are really, really good. Very happy with those. And they're all custom, which, I don't know about the symbology yet or anything like that or how crazy that is. I don't believe we got this. So let's go ahead and look at these. What I will say about these cubes is that they are very smooth and very uniform in texture. And so a lot of times you'll get these and like right here, you'll see a little bit of a chip there, right? I mean, it is actual wood, and so the chip can happen. However, I don't feel that. Like, it's not big enough for me to actually feel. I can see it there. And for the most part, they're great. I mean, that's literally the only one I've seen that has an issue. And the colors are very deep, too, which is really cool. I like that as well. Hold on. I'm not doing that yet. In a bit. Alright. So, again, I do apologize. I've actually unboxed this and this already, but you're going to get my thoughts anyway. And now this will be my second time seeing it, so hopefully I won't be as rambling, but no promises there. So, what I like about this one is, first of all, I like that this is indented here. If you paint this black, it'll look like it goes all the way down, so it'll be a great chimney there. I really appreciate how jagged and misformed all these are, to the point where you can tell, like, I don't see a repeated piece. So when you make these digitally, and I don't know if they made them digital or sculpted, you could copy and paste one, in several different spots, and it would be hard to notice. I'm not seeing any like that. These all look very custom. I like that they kind of poke out here, and I like just little touches, like the fact that the texture of the wall on the top half is different than the bottom half, as if this was added onto. In other words, it was first this and then it was added in this, or they needed to structurally. I'm no architect expert of ancient buildings, but I do appreciate the brick versus the kind of stone here.
Or they might have just lit up their house.
I'm sure that's exactly what they did, because it was this big. The texture on the wood, I don't know if you can hear that or not. Very, very good. I really, really like that. And I like that they're hollow. Oh yeah, the microphone's over there. It's fine. If you didn't hear it, that's okay. So one of the benefits of it hollow is you can store them a little bit smarter. So these are two very identical houses. They're the exact same sculpt. So in this case, it did repeat them, if that makes sense. Again, you can paint this black. It'll look great. This is pretty much all brick, and the very top is this wood in the attic. The window opening and all that is really, really good. And yeah, I'm really happy with these. And if we go to the kind of church here, this is just a great building. So you'll notice these are actually like planks of them or whatever, right? Like it's a whole different kind of roofing material going on here. The bells here have like the little dong. I don't know the name. I'm no bell expert, but whatever that is. The patchwork kind of corner bracing bricks here, whatever that is, just really, really good. A good attention to detail. This kind of breaking out. Another thing I really like is the windows here, because you can do two different things here. You can go like stained glass and make them all colored, or you can actually do a really cool OSL effect, which would be really, really pretty here, as if like the lights were on. Depending on the scenarios, I don't know how much they'd be on. You'll notice here it's not uniform, so it actually goes up here. Do you see how that's not straight? It dips in here, and then it kind of goes up in like a weird fashion. I imagine that's pretty normal back then. I mean, I don't know how uniform they got, but it looks a little bubbly, which is kind of cool.
Kind of looks like Hogwarts.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, we'll pack this up. Now that I'm done talking to my wife.
She interrupted us.
Yeah, it happens. I don't know if that'll make a difference. I feel like it will. It did. Alright. You okay powering through this box again? Alright. So again, we've already seen these. But that's it. That's it. So otherwise you're caught up, which is good. Alright. So, actually, I don't know if you saw the cards. So maybe we'll do the cards in a bit here. Alright, so let's look at the unicorn. And the unicorn. So one thing I did notice is all the bases are super flat. And what I mean by that is... So that is... I'm going to drop my mini. Can you get that for me? Hey, thanks so much.
He ran away.
Okay, so that was a drop test. I don't know if you knew, but I was totally going to do that on purpose. Not true. They're really flat. And normally a lot of times you'll get a little seam line even on the base. None of that here. You can see a little bit of a spout where they poured it in. A little trim right there. It'll be good. The mini though, and you remember this is the scale. So this is a horse in this game. Very tiny. And you'll see that as we go forward. But it was definitely sculpted with that in mind. And the materials of the plastics used were kept in that in mind. So there is actually eye detail here. And there's even texture on like his little goatee thing going on here. You'll see that he's kind of, I don't want to say chunky, but just very... obvious definitions of shape all throughout, because they could have like easily gone really skinny with the horn, but knowing the scale of this and obviously not wanting bent pieces, they definitely went with kind of a more stylized horn with the spiral here that helps it not be so skinny, which is again really good. Even has nostrils. Very well done here. Attached really well to the base. Very, very happy with this. And the base is straight, which is a welcome change from Batman recently. This guy is super, super cool. I really, really love his pose. So I love when they kind of come off of the base a little bit here. But again, just slightly off the base, a slight overhang. He's also not like completely straight. He's in a dynamic pose. So he's turned here. The tail's like turned up this way. The texture is fantastic. His mouth is open with his tongue kind of hanging out to the side here. He's like missing he's got like one big tooth here, I guess. That's kind of interesting. This bottom jaw piece is a separate piece that they had to glue on. Here, I don't think you'd have to fill that in at all. You could if you wanted to, but in painting, if you paint yours, highlighting and stuff like that is like texture. On this side, you'll see in the jaw, that straight line here, this jaw in particular... is the focal point of the mini. This is definitely what you're going to be staring at the most, and then you'll kind of see the rest here. And so you want that to look good. So you might want to sculpt that a little bit, but it's really good to the point where you can see the kind of line right here. But it's so good, you don't need to do anything with it. Just really well done. And even the bottom is textured, which is great. He will be very hard to paint under there unless you detach him. So a lot of times on the feet, especially webbed feet, they get kind of flat on the bottom. You'll get a little bit of flash, and there is a tiny bit here, a little bit of a seam line, not a whole lot. You can see it kind of goes up here. It's always kind of hard to trim right close to the base here, right? But I think you can probably manage. And these back ones look great. Very cool mini. Now these ox cart guys are very cool because they actually have a way to attach. So you'll see here there's a little bit of a nub, and then that nub fits into there. You know, kind of like a, you know, how you would normally toast something. And again, a little bit of trim right there, but otherwise completely fine. Very well attached into everything, so it's very integrated. Now, this is not as important of a piece as the unicorn. And so you'll notice that there's a loss of detail, like the eyes are not quite as defined. There's still those sockets, which is good. This is probably the worst seam line I've seen so far in pretty much the whole game that I've seen yet, which is saying a lot, as in a good thing. Very well detailed kind of body here. You can highlight this up very well. Because of the scale, you're going to have to kind of exaggerate the highlights a bit, and I think they took that in mind. Now these wagons here are just covered in texture. Every single piece is so well textured, and it's weathered, so you can see like the kind of scratches here. That's on purpose. The tiny rope here is a standout here. So if you see how tiny this rope is, just compared to my finger, and that it still has that texture, looks fantastic. Really, really well done. Just every little piece of this, even the kind of part inside of here is textured. Just great attention to detail. Really impressed. And again, all straight bases. Very happy with that. All right, let's look at some of these ladies here. Okay, so one of the benefits, one of the great things about as a game, you know, like piece maker is if you don't control the base, if you don't have control over this stuff, you can't make the person really do it. So you have to have them just kind of flat, which limits the amount of design you can do. With this, they can have her like shooting off here and doing all this stuff just by including this rock formation, which is fantastic and really, really cool. I also really appreciate that the mini starts here, but then ends in the middle. You'll see that in the male version as well, and that's really good. Now, the scale, again, you can see how crazy small the scale is. I mean, this is a person. And with that, you still actually, I don't know if you can see this or not, have little divots for their fingers. Now, that is tiny. You need like a 2-hair brush to, you know, really highlight that up. But it's there. And that's really impressive to me, that she actually has fingers. And facial details. So her cheek is a little raised. She has a very tiny itty bitty ear there, but that is an ear. Lips on her mouth, and you know, an eye and eyes and nose. I mean, very, very well done. The sword is nice and straight. A little short by the looks of it to me, but I don't know, it may just be a skill thing. And of course the feathers, a great way to tell miniature quality is through the feathers, and they have great texture everywhere. Really, really cool. Like that. So now you'll see on the male one even more so how it starts way over here, but his center of gravity is still going to be in the middle, and so he's going to sit, you know, straight. He's not going to wobble or anything like that. He's got a perfectly straight and round base, which is fantastic. All the details are super crisp. I mean, none of this is muddled. A lot of times when you get these little you know, divots or whatever these bolts are on top of metal, you'll see a few that are kind of I don't want to say melted, but just shallower than the rest. None of these are. They're all equal. I mean, I'm really, really impressed here. So again, he has a kind of a sense of fingers right there. I mean, there is, you hear that? That's his fingers. So that is working here. This seems to be maybe slightly bent. Maybe it should be like that. You could sell it either way. And if not, again, hot water treatment will fix that. He does have toes. His toes are nice in there on his, I think those are sandals, which is why that's flat on the bottom. Very, very well done. Very cool. All right, where's the box with that?
I threw it on the ground.
Alright, there's those two. Alright, so before I get to the rule book, I want to see how many of you guys have seen my other videos. If you've seen my other videos, especially my unboxings or my reviews, you're going to know what's the first thing I'm going to look for in this rule book. Let me know in the comments below. Let me see if you know what it is I'm going to be looking for. And if so, that proves to me that you have seen my other videos. That's about as proof as you can get. So comment below on what I'm going to look at first there. And don't say the art because I've already seen it. Besides this front page, what I'm going to look for. So these are kind of the longer cards here. And what I really like about this is that a lot of times when you get longer cards, or just, I guess, bigger cards with the same thickness as the smaller cards, they lose a lot of stability and they start to flop around a little bit. These are still nice and straight. They do bend. I mean, you can still fold them or whatever, but they keep their shape very nicely, which is good. A lot of times, a lot of player boards will be like this, and you'll end up kind of losing, just a little bit of, how rigid it is, structure. Also, if you notice, they're all nice and straight. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of a bowing in one of them or a half of them. I don't know how that even happens, but I see it all the time. I'm really glad that that is not the case. All right, if we look at kind of the normal cards here, again, a very standard format when it comes to title, art, special abilities, which is fine. I don't want them to really change a whole lot there. What I will say about this is one thing I kind of had noticed is, you see how this is blank right here, if there's really nothing going on, and to me that looks a little bit silly. So one thing I've seen like Magic the Gathering doing is they'll put like a faded symbol in here, kind of non-offending, so that it can still be behind text and it's not bothering anything. But that way, if it's blank, you still see that it's still taking up space. It doesn't look like, there should be something there. So that's kind of my only design opinion on these, other than the fact that I think the art is fantastic. It looks to me a little bit like different artists did these, which I like, actually. Again, coming from Magic the Gathering, I like that it all fits in the same universe, but that they're not all the same exact kind of style, that there is a little bit of a difference between them. And again, they look fantastic.
I'm tired.
Now for the Zombicide, I noticed, for the Zombicide style cards, these also, again, are very nice. They're all the same thickness and rigid. They feel the same, which is good. One thing I did notice on these is, so you'll see here how there's a kind of a white outer glow, to this. It really helps the letters stand out, which is really good. And in fact, you'll see that a little bit in like this ore here, but you won't see it around the like arrow. Instead, you'll get a little bit of a drop shadow on the arrow. And at least at this distance, and I'm actually a little bit closer than I would be maybe on a table, I would like these to stand out more, and I feel they would if they had this kind of glow to it. Probably my only comment on those in a not even a negative fashion, just I guess I wish it would have been a little bit easier to read there, symbol-wise, but quality, very good. Really appreciate that. The font's readable and nice. I like them. Okay, let's do the rule book before we get to these. You know what? No, we're going to have to get to these. I can't get the rule book out. So you guys have a bit more time to think about what it is I'm going to be looking at.
I already know what it is.
I already know what it is. All right, so here we got stickers. Now this is great. This is cool. So these are for, I didn't know they included these. That's awesome. These are transfers, I believe. This is going to be my guess for the shields. Okay, don't take them all out yet, okay? Let's see if I can get a sheet out without ruining everything. Okay. Yeah, so just little stickers. So you can put these on the shields and you have the design. That's fantastic. A lot of times this kind of stuff, when you do like Warhammer and you want your Ultramarine symbols or something like that, you don't want to paint them on all the time, that can get a little pricey. And so, and then you worry about like, oh, actually the scale wasn't that great or it's sloppily done. These look awesome. I didn't know they include that. That's a nice touch. That's cool. All right, you can tell the size difference here and just how how tiny these are. I mean, these are definitely not 20. These are like 15, I think. 15 millimeter, maybe 12. I don't know. They very tiny millimeter. But the detail's actually impressive. And what I mean by that is that guy is yelling. Can you see that? He has a facial structure enough to where I could tell his expression. He's saying like charge or something like that. Again, the shield, you can put that transfer on there. It'd look really cool. It's got a little bit of a divot there. That's interesting. I imagine that's to place his sword. You know, so you can kind of do a kind of a formation thing like that, which is cool. So a little bit of trim here. A little bit of flash kind of right down here. But these are very nice. Now, if you notice here, look at this. This base has some imperfections and the other ones didn't. Kind of an interesting thing to note, I suppose. And I guess I'll keep looking at them and see if they're any different or not. So, right here, well, let's not do that yet, okay? So, these are kind of the troop carrier things, and so you put them in like this, and then, yeah, sure, let's just throw another one just to show, like that, right? So you can kind of move them all the same. Very cool. All right, let's look at some of these troops. These are some of the guys you get a whole, like, some repeats on. So again, super tiny. A little bit of flash, like really across here. I'm a little out of breath. I just took groceries in. I apologize. Some more flash here. So a little bit more flash than normal, and there is some on the bases where on the big ones there weren't. But all the bases are nice and flat, which I do like. I mean, they're like completely flat. And some really good detail. The chain stuff here will highlight really well. Again, this kind of a little bit of exaggerated details will really help at this scale, and I'm really, really happy about that. Also, he's got some fingers. Impressive.
He has fingers?
Mm-hmm, that he does.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's look at some of these horseback guys, because these are cool. So again, I love the kind of, just the motion you get from the fabric. Very well done here. Again, a little bit more flash. There's definitely more flash on these than the big boss monsters. I don't know if it's just a size thing or what. However, this is not attached. So I would have assumed this was attached to the side of the head, you know, kind of like that, like one piece. But it's not. It's actually separate and quite straight. Looks like a tiny bit of a bend there, perhaps, but very minimal. And this, look how tiny and skinny that. Whoop, look how tiny and skinny this is. And a lot of times, what you'll get is one going this way and one going that way. Not the case. Nice and straight. And a little bit of a bend there. Nothing hot water won't fix. But
I noticed a difference.
Is there a difference?
This one's in the middle. This one's on the side.
Oh yeah. So look at that. So this one. So some of these were, I guess, a little bent, and I don't know which way it really should be per se. I'm assuming
like this one has it in the middle too.
I don't know. So they're a little bit different there, and you can see a poor spot here. There you go. So there's kind of the difference there. I think this is just perhaps turned a little bit. Maybe it was assembled, and it's just a different assembly. It's pretty minor. They look fine either way. Let's look at the little werewolf guy here. Again, I love the texture, or the pose here. The fact that he's off-center here is very cool. And just that he can sit on there. Now, this is all one sculpt. And what that does two things. First of all, it means it's nice and flush. It also means that sometimes you can get a little bit like this, where the foot kind of painting will make that look cleaner than what it actually looks like right now. Because you gotta kind of separate the person. All right. And then here, all right. So this was a little unexpected for me. Just that I again, because I paint, I don't typically just throw people in bags, especially on non-resealable bags. You know, I do appreciate a good storage. Now, I've also never dealt with this many people at this small scale. I got it. But that is kind of interesting. Just that these are all so different than the other guys here. Okay, come on. It's like monkeys in a barrel there. So the arrows here, very cool. You can see it's actually just kind of put right into there. And then the detail there, he's actually got his arrow resting on his arm. Very, very cool. So really good detail here. Cool pose. Again, you got the facial details. You got the fingers. Really impressed there. A little bit of a clean up that you got to do, but yeah, that's impressive. I mean, I guess there's so many here. It would just take forever. Though I would like something a little bit more permanent than just a bag. Maybe you're supposed to like throw them in there. I'm not actually quite sure yet. What are these? It's like little totem things, looks like, and then you got some wolves. Great texture on that. Yeah, these guys look really cool. I do like them.
I don't look really cool.
You look cool too.
Much better.
All right. Watch out for those swords.
Swords.
Does it go that way? It goes that way? I don't know. You're just gonna get in there, huh? What are you reaching for? Oh, we're gonna do the other box and get it. That's fine. Alright, and the last box here.
Not the last box, there's another more to
Yeah, last box of the core box. Oh, this is exciting.
Colors.
Now, I was not aware that these were pre-colored plastic. That's really cool because it acts as your base coat, except that you would probably want to prime it. And priming it would get rid of the color. So, one thing I will say about this, I suppose, this is just me freeform thinking here, is that you can paint these last, right? Because they already have some color on them. They're not going to look too out of place as you paint other stuff. That's only, of course, if you are going to paint. But the detail here, again, really good. Nice flat. I mean, is it flat? Is it flat? There's nothing flat here to look on, but I really like the design. Again, exaggerated detail here. You got the really good texture on the base. You don't even have to add a texture paint. Really awesome. Very cool. You got the barricades here. Look fantastic. Very cool. I love the chain and the detail on the chain. So chains are also a really good thing you can check as far as quality wise. You can see for the most part they're pretty good. There's something kind of weird happening on a few of them, but then you can see like one like this that's perfect all the way around. Very, very happy with those. Those are good. Now let's not play with them quite yet because I got to be able to put them up. So these really amazing cornerstones. If you've played a tabletop kind of skirmish or war game, then you realize kind of the corner stuff that we do all the time with that. This looks a little bent. However, because it's all broken open, you could actually keep it like that. If you think about it, this could be like bending and kind of being damaged, or you could keep it straight. You can probably do either one there. Very good detail here. I really, really like that. That looks awesome. Where'd you get this from? Right here? Was it? This is okay. Here, let me take this stuff out just so I know how it goes.
Tic Tac bar.
Yeah, it looks like Kit Kat, not Tic Tac. Kit Kat. What I love about this, it would take a while to paint, is the vines. It'll just look really cool on there. It's not just kind of this column block, but instead it has some detail there, which I really appreciate. And then we got, I don't even want to take these out yet, but some smaller shrubs look awesome. And then you got like just rocks and various other pieces of terrain. Very cool. I liked that box. That was a cool box. Now, let's see if we can't. You know what? It'll be long enough anyway. We'll just keep it like this.
There's a lot of these, Dad.
Well, let's go for the rule book. All right. Did you make your guess yet on what I will be looking for first?
I did.
Start in the back of the book, like any good person. And credits. I'm probably not in there. Glossary. Glossaries are good. I like glossaries. I like skills. You know what, guys? I'm not seeing it. So what I look for is an index.
I knew
it. You knew it. I always want to see an index, especially when there are at least 35 pages in just this one book here, and it's this word heavy. I want to know every time you mention line of sight. I want to know every time you mention skills, you know, or movement or whatever. Yeah, okay, let's keep it in here. Well, you're unboxing it one up before I am. The layout here does look really good. I like the different examples as you're, you know, following up after combat and doing all that, all the symbology. This does seem to be kind of symbol heavy from what I can tell, but maybe not. I mean, I might just be judging it based off those dice. Really good color. I like the theme. Text looks good.
And text in the front.
No, you'll probably get a table of contents, or in this case, a summary, which again tells you the main headings. If you're looking for something that Move mentions, like line of sight, is line of sight even on here? Like, how do you determine line of sight? That's probably important. I don't even see that as an option here, and so I wouldn't know where to look. And then additionally, you might mention move, and then you might mention dangerous terrain somewhere else, and may want to see that. Just always want to look at that. Now, I do like this. So the box contents where you show the name with the item, I really, really appreciate that. That's very useful to see, just so that I know everything that came in the box, that I have everything, I'm not missing something. When you mention something, like, oh, place a house here, I know when you say house, you mean, or small house, you mean these and not the big house, or, whatever. Happy with that. Get an index. Otherwise, I'm okay with that.
I knew that you were looking for an index.
All right, now here, historical. What is this?
Oh my gosh.
This is kind of cool. Look at this. Experience history different. At the Joan of Arc Historial, a second trial takes place for Joan of Arc to prove her innocence. Be both actor and judge. This is kind of interesting. I'll have to look into this more. It looks like some kind of experiencing you can go to, and it gives you some info. All right, I'll do it. Very cool art, that witch on the back with her like voodoo doll or whatever. Got the dogs here. This is a scenario book. I'm not going to leaf through everything. I'm going to look at the back page just to see. Okay, it looks like just another scenario. And then in the beginning you have the different battles, and it says how to lay it out and how to start and everything like that. It looks like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 scenarios here by the looks of it. Yeah, you got a whole lot of leaflets like this. So this looks like a player aid. I really appreciate these. Front and back, quite big. That is quite the aid. And small text on top of it. Oh, wow. A lot of info crammed on here. I mean, look at all that. All the different stuff and what it means. Very cool. And the cardboard. Here, I'll get it. That's kind of cool. There we go.
Whoa.
Lots of cardboard here. All right, here, can you take that?
Nice.
Now this seems like a really nice cardboard. Let's do a big one. Pops out very nicely. You can see a little bit of so on this black you can see a little bit easier. A few tags, or just kind of a little rough. You can see right there, but the cardboard quality is very good. It looks like this is where you store cards and everything. Very cool. All right, and here, pop some of these out. They pop out very nice. Don't see any splitting or anything like that there. Very happy with those. Whoop. Yeah, these are great. A good quality, good finish to them. Very happy with these. Very happy. All right, let's see. Anything interesting that we should maybe pop out here? Let's put some of those. Here you go.
This one has another language.
Oh, yeah, look at that. The hex pieces here are actually like even attached together, so a little bit more sturdy there. It's kind of cool. Front and back on all those.
And you could just put a whole bunch of the trees right there.
And more and more and more. I'm not going to bother with all of them.
More.
That's right, but a ton of cardboard. All right, that is it for the core box. So let's get to everything else. All right, now we have the Reliquary box here. Another big box. This seems to be about the same size as the core box. And it's not even everything yet. So on the back, again, where it looks like we're not having a component box. Instead, it's just kind of a little spiel about it. What?
I told you, just lift up the house and build under.
There you go. Yeah, maybe that's what they did. You were right.
Yeah, see, I'm always right.
All
I saw openings. I saw little holes.
No, yeah, don't worry about that. Here, I'll get it. Hold on. Here. Back up.
Can I cut it?
No.
Oh. Okay.
You get your finger in there. There you go. All right. There we go. Same finish as the other one. I like that. Every now and then you'll get a Kickstarter that their boxes are different. Like only the main box got a special treatment, like a spot UV or something like that, and the rest don't. That was kind of funny. All right. And we are greeted right away with...
faces.
Oh, yeah, it's creepy. The rulebook, it looks of it. Miniature reference on the back there. Always like that.
He's looking for...
No index, but I think this may just be scenarios. Yeah, just scenarios. That's fine. You don't need an index with scenarios. That'd be silly.
These look like the ones that we already...
Yep, look very similar. And there'll be 2 copies. One will be French and Francias. I don't know what you're saying both there. That's weird. All right, let's get to the minis.
Okay, this one is actually...
Oh, okay. Look at that spacer. Yeah, let's do the big one.
Spacer could always be a hat. See?
Oh, look at that guy.
Is that the dragon?
That is not the dragon. The dragon's bigger. But...
Oh my god.
Oh, he's like, look at that. It's like a toy.
Yay.
This is actually kind of nice. I've never seen somebody do this with the miniatures before. I actually kind of like that.
It's like...
Keeps them nice and snug. So he's not jumping around everywhere. Because there is no lid. That being said, obviously I'm not going to do this every time I put him back. So hopefully he doesn't jostle around too much. Otherwise I would have preferred a lid. But that's still kind of cool.
Can I hold him?
Yeah, in a bit.
I don't feel how heavy it is.
Alright, he is actually quite heavy. He seems... these wings are solid. This could be like a murder weapon in Clue. Alright, so let's get this.
Do you like my hat?
First of all, I love the pose. Oh, a little hair there. That's not mine. With the claws kind of reaching out right here. Just everything here looks good. The base, again, perfectly smooth. I love it. I love it. That's great. All the different heads. It looks like it's assembled very well, too. So a lot of times you'll get some spotty assembly. Tiny bit of glue there. I don't mind that at all. But this looks really close. A little gap fill there, as you can see. But not a whole lot. And again, I'm a little bit more forgiving when they're this big like this. Very defined feathers. They're actually fairly smooth, which I'm kind of surprised on. I'm assuming they're supposed to be, but some like very shallow here, and then much more defined here. I have to look at some bird reference feathers to see how normal that is when it comes to different feathers. The fur, again, very cool, very nice. You'll notice here that these are not... This one's kind of sharp, but these are kind of rounded. I'm assuming that's kind of on purpose. They're still pretty sharp, though. And then these, I was looking at these, like you could... so you want to be careful here, just because it could break, I would imagine. But yeah, so this is assembled right there, but that's nice and clean. I'm very impressed with this. This looks great. All the teeth look good.
Do you like my hat?
I love your hat. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, this looks great. Again, a little bit of gap fill there. That's an awesome mini. All right, you want to hold it? Whoa, indeed. Let's put him back in his home.
So, Dad, is the dragon...
Give me the box.
Is the dragon as big as that box there?
Well, his wings are off.
Huh?
His wings are off. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how the dragon is when we get to him. That being said, wow, that is big. So again, the scale of the little guys to that are going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. Alright, next up.
And then it's like a very skinny dragon.
We're going to go from big to small, I feel, here. Yep, big to small.
Oh yeah, now you can compare.
Yeah, no, I'll get some final shots. Oh man, let's look at some of these cool guys here. Look at this. Mr. Snake Man. So he's got this, really cool skull here in his fingers. Look at the detailed fingers there. He's got the snakes coming out and the scythe. Very cool. That's an awesome mini. I love that, again, pretty much this whole base is taken up by the swirls. Hey, I'll take him out, okay? Let's look at a bear. We gotta have bears. Look at the bear. Roar. That's the size of a bear. That'll give you some sense of scale here. Bear has paws. Bear has toes.
It's actually a very small bear because compared to that person, it's
love the teeth. So here's a person next to the bear. Let me see. Yeah, it's not the biggest bear in the world. Again, just the texture on these, super impressive considering the scale. These have to be probably some of the best miniatures that have come out of the scale pretty much ever. The ruffles here and the texture on that looks fantastic. Really, really well done. And there's just so many. Let's get a bannerman. We haven't seen like one of these poor people here. Yeah, you're stuck holding that. Looks like a little slightly bent. Just a tiny bit. Otherwise pretty good. And of course it gets a little thick here because it's one sculpt. But that helps it keep it a little bit more secure too. Alright, so here we have like the cannoneer, people. So you got the big gun here, and then you'd have the two people on either side. Oh, let's look at this guy. We have this dude here. Wow. Look, he's like... Did you see like the demon head? Or whatever that is? Like coming out of there. And then he's like swooping out, and these are like... I don't even know what he's coming out. I don't know what mini this is, but that's fantastic. I love that. I've forgotten so much about these. It's been a while. Yeah, this one, she's got some great hair coming on here, and then her horse, this beautiful like is it real? Is it Maybelline? Right? You got that meme going on here with the really fancy hair, and then just how the horse is posed too. Just elegance, really stout on the back, and then nice and prim and prissy in the front with the looks of it. Very cool. That's a cool mini. I like that one. All right, let's get maybe these mounted people, and then we'll probably be good. Look at the shield on this. What a cool shield with the wing there on that. What is that? A kite shield? I don't know the shields. Not only that. Look at that. They're like coming off the base. Look how tiny that base is. Look at this. Is the two legs.
It's so it can fit on these like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because that needs to be the size of it. That's funny. Wow, love the banner though. That's cool.
The horse is actually kind of funny because he's like.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. Let's look at this guy's hair. Oh no, he's like a sultan dude. He's got like the. I thought this was like an afro. I'm like, what in the world? I love the tiny people.
I wish it was an afro.
All right, let's put them up.
I hope the dragon is that big. Did you just say Hulu?
So, ooh. All right.
I hope there's another dragon. I just want this whole thing to be dragons. You?
The whole thing to be nothing but dragons. All right, so we got some more loose guys there. And look at that. A whole bunch of loose guys.
Pixies. Oh, wow.
Loose guys in a second. Yeah, they don't even have a tray. Which is, again, I mean, I want somewhere to put these guys, but I guess you just put them in like that. Hold on. Again, let me do it so everybody can see.
I just want to look.
So that is a cool mini. So the texture work on here is amazing. Like, it just looks so good. It looks really, really good. I like his, his kind of his pose with his arms holding it up and his hair going up like that. And then the little people to scale up on top. In fact, if you notice, this is the exact same guy that I showed you before. The exact same mini. So you got two of those. One of them's feeling all boss up there, which I'd feel pretty cool up there too. Really, really like that. So you can see, I want to say this was probably assembled. Yeah, so this top piece, it was like this and then another piece here. But the assembly is really good. Like, I didn't even really notice until I saw a little bit of a divot there. But it's supposed to be all swirled. A little bit right there.
Like he's coming up.
Yeah, exactly. And actually looks like it was 3 pieces because this was assembled here as well. The assembly on this game, from the mass assembly that they're doing, is really good. I don't know how much they paid for it, but couldn't have been cheap. A tiny bit of flash here, but I'm not seeing any flash. Okay, so right here. Right there's a flash. But again, it's so tiny. Very, like, that's pretty much smooth. Like, really, really well done. Really cool. All right, you want to see him, don't you?
Yes.
All right, then we got the cockatrice here. Gotta have that. I love this cockatrice. I love his face. Just like his tongue coming out like that. It's gross. He's got the little, you know, kind of like a rooster, whatever stuff going on here. And then almost fishy here. Very cool. Great texture all the way around. This will take up a wash really well.
Paint all of those details?
Individually, yep.
Okay, wow. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be painting this for a while, I feel. Very cool. I like that guy.
Here, pick this guy up. I want to see him. Are you painting all these other details individually?
And then we have, I believe, a griffin. Very cool. Okay, so again, assembly right there, but it's very minimal. That's about as good as you can get for mass production.
The
unless
griffin is from Harry Potter.
You do it. Oh, that's not from Harry Potter. Harry Potter just has them. A little bit of a trimming, you know, just a little bit of mold lines there. Again, another assembly there, but still pretty good. I like it. I'm happy. I love the like more realistic bird tongue there. Very cool. And the feathers sprayed out there. It looks like a little poor spot right there in the front. Now, I know this has to happen, and obviously you can tool it as much as you want. You can't control it to an extent, but I would prefer this to not be in the front and center. This is like when you go to prom and you're all like jazzed up and you got the nice suit, and then you get a pimple right in between your eyes on your forehead. That's the pimple. It'll trim fine. And you know, put makeup on it, it'll be good, right? Yeah, no, I like this. This is cool. I like him a lot. And then you have the little guys. And you got tons of little guys. Again, it doesn't look like there's really any storage solution for these, to the point where they don't even really have a tray to rest in. They're just kind of grouped underneath, which, you know, is, you know, I would have preferred it, but it would have been a ton. And I realize that too. Okay, so these guys, you look at the flash on there. So quite a bit more flash, at least on the one I just randomly pulled out. And again, I'm just looking random here. And this tail is not as defined. You can see it kind of like lumps in there. It gets a little shallow. And then obviously that's not clear where ideally it was. Yeah, no. So this, I don't know what to really paint that, because ideally he would just have his legs separate, but that'd be really tiny. I understand that. And the smooth here, there's a little tiny bit of texture when it will show up. But again, these are just your little guys, and I understand that. But certainly nothing I would pay a ton for. However, what I am impressed with is not only the amount you get. I mean, this is a ton of stuff, but again, just how straight everything is, and just the quality of the plastic is really good. And of course, you get a ton of these. You get just more soldier dudes, and these guys look cool. Maybe I'll get some of these demons out. The demons look cool, right? This is a mix? Looks like a mixed bag. Yeah, you got people and demons. Let's get a demon out. Alright, look at that face. I dig it. That's a cool design. Those curved horns and the like stomach tongue thing he's got going on here with teeth. That's a cool mini. Again, assembly is not quite as good. Again, I imagine these people in the factory are doing like a bajillion of these. Comes off the base a little bit. It amazes me that the design is still so good on these. I mean, you know, because at the end of the day, they're kind of just in bags, like throwaway minis. But they take them out of this. That's what I took them out of. Yep, there he is. Sculpt design really good, which means it'd still be actually kind of fun to paint. All right, so let's. There's a box for that. There it is. That's it for this box. Now on to the next one. Alright, now this is one I'm really excited about. This Unleash Hell. It's got some cool guys in here, which you are about to see. I remember, so this was pretty early on in my Kickstarter career, and as such, I actually did not see it when it first launched. And my understanding is it started out, like when they first showed this on Kickstarter, it was pretty much a whole bunch of little tiny French dudes, you know, just kind of, you know, little tiny minis. Hold on. And slowly but surely they added all this kind of divine stuff and crazy stuff going on around it that was still grounded within the lore and the story and all that. And it looked really cool. And it had this devil figure that just looked awesome. I think he was literally like just revealed when I saw the Kickstarter for the first time. So they had all these like angels and stuff like that. So again, back kind of like it all, where you have the art and then a little bit about kind of what this box is all about. But I think this tells you enough about what this box is all about. Look how tiny that dude is. Look at that.
He's like I come in base.
Yeah, you have that on the front and then these boring stuff on the back. Look at those boring guys.
Yeah, they're so boring.
I know, right? Who cares about that? Alright, you got your Pope. You got some bags. Appreciate the bags, by the way. Thanks for throwing those in there. Oh, is that shiny? Okay, I almost thought that was foil. I'm like, what is that? Nah. Alright, you guys have seen the cards. I think this is just going to be a couple scenarios. Love the art.
No.
The Devil and Avagon. Again, some great art, some great lore.
I feel like I've seen that guy before.
The scenario.
No index.
Well, no, because it's not a rule. Oh. Nope, and you get a die. That's important. It's important to get your die here. So now you got another one there. Alright, this is not a spacer. Actually, this is some minis. And you never know. Aha, so just another big house. And then some broken stuff here. Again, really good. I love the Rebel. I like the little inlet of where the fireplace was. That's kind of cool. I like that they cut the... Yeah, so see, that would have been where the fire was. Oh. And that's part of the chimney.
That's a small house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really?
Well, small people lived in there. Alright, I think you guys know what this is. I've already unboxed some stuff here, so I'm just going to show you
that looks so pretty.
What you get. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Is it sky? Is there like a sky battle? I don't know. I actually don't know.
There might be a sky battle with the devil.
Look at the footprint there. That's cool.
That's the devil's.
Yeah, it's a double footprint.
Or is it mine?
Uh-oh.
You're bad.
Man, these just fall out, which is a sign of normally a very good punch out. When they just are like, you know what, I don't even want to be here anymore. All right, let's move this box.
Like toodaloo.
And this is what I was talking about. You ready? You ready for this one? Look at that. So, oh, look at that. So little tiny demon guys there. And then, yeah, the devil does that sometimes. Okay, he's tied in too. So again, the basing is very cool. I really appreciate the basing. Just because you can get such cool sculpts and designs, and it can help tell a story. So if you notice here, he's got like a church tower that's been like destroyed. He's just stomping on top of it, literally putting it underneath his foot. Very, in your face storytelling here on what's happening, what's going to happen. Facing off against this guy is going to be scary. So one thing I will notice is this is a little bent. I'm probably going to try and, slow but surely, in fact, because it's where it is, I'll probably have to do a hairdryer thing. Try and straighten that out a bit. These could be really tough when they're thick and round like this. A lot of the giant spear maiden Cyclops from Massive Darkness had the same kind of issue with her javelin spear thing. Again, a little bit of assembly, but done very, very well here. Minimal stuff needed really there. Yeah, like his splits in his skin, so you can see the muscle underneath, and crashed bell. This is really, really good. Again, he's got the whole "I'll get you guys" kind of pose.
He might be crying.
Yeah, I'll be sure to paint little tears there. Okay. Very, very cool. I actually appreciate, with the fact that the wings aren't attached here. Like they were, right? So you can see kind of where the assembly was. But, I mean, you don't need to deal with it. It's all just part of it. Very, very cool.
I think the other one is actually heavier.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was heavier. A little bit thicker. I like how his horns, to me, always kind of looked like a crown. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. I don't know.
So move it.
All right, now we got the super exclusives. They are super exclusive in that they're Kickstarter only, which is exciting to get those. This guy's pretty happy about it himself. So is Leo.
Leo?
Yeah, Leo. He's actually one of the people that helped make this game, and we all have the honor of having him on our box.
Oh, that dude, is he real?
Probably, but I don't know. I just know Leo. I should probably know more. Leo, though, I mean, he gets so excited about the games and just board gaming in general. It's really fun to see him. He can hype up anybody. At the end of Reichbusters, I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. It's cool too.
Kitties.
Like the cat. All right. Again, same thing as the other ones, where it's just kind of a little bit about it and not like a component list or anything like that. All right. Leo the Innkeeper, and we got Gog here, and I'm sure everything we need there. We got the... Oh, look at that, look at that. Ta-da! That's cool. So if you want to do some crafts with the French one or the English one, whichever one you don't need, it's always a possibility. Dig that. A little bit of a crease here. I don't know where that came from, but that's all right. Probably from the bag in the scenario.
No index.
Now in this one, we got the cardboard, and it's just a little bit of the kind of inners of a building by the look of it. Okay, so I'm assuming these are spacers.
Yes.
Okay, all right, hold on, I know what's going on here. Yep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now at this point, they're almost just making the tray seem bigger. The box seem bigger. This is really all you need. There's just nothing in here. Okay, nothing.
This is not nice.
All right, so open these guys up. These guys are cool looking. So, in here, now this is the first guy that I have that's bent, and that makes me really sad. I'll have to straighten him out. He ain't supposed to be like that. In fact, even his bases, I might ask for a replacement because bases are not fun. There's a little bit of a wobble there.
I want to see him.
Love the cat on the barrel. That's fun.
Get in the barrel.
All right, and so now we got. I mean, just look how cool of a design that is. I mean, look at this coming out here. That is crazy, and like he can't even see. He's got his teeth barred, and this is a little bent as well. I'll have to straighten that, but that'll straighten out. I like that this is not touching. He's literally raising it. That's kind of a neat touch. The stitching here is fantastic. Really, really good stitching. The skulls look great here. This is just like the tops of them here by the looks of it. Got like some weird potion jars. Again, really cool stitching. I like that one. Some cleanup here. Nothing too bad. I like that one. And then we got this guy. And man, he looks mean. I love his like helmet thing here and his spiked reinforced shield, and looks like a cage hanging from his waist, and a curved dagger, and that seemed kind of really good stitching. Really good texture work. Really cool man. I like that one a lot too. Right, you are tired, aren't you? Running around too much. Am I that boring?
Huh?
So am I that boring?
Mm-hmm.
And then in here,
Even I'm more fun than last. You could call me a boy.
we got the inn.
Whoa.
And that is fun. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's just supposed to be the entrance, so you could, maybe paint a little scenery there. Maybe just paint it black, or, who knows what people with more art skills. Yeah, that's right. It'll have Christmas in there. Again, really like the texture work everywhere. The really fine detail here is good. The signpost has the lettering in it. That's fantastic. That one's in French. This one's in English. It says a good place. This is a good place. If you know Mythic, they're all about the good place. The good place is right here. I like that. The entrance up there, another entrance there.
I'll set it down.
Very cool. And this one, by the way, is like Well, I do believe it is hollow. It's just inside hollow because it's not that heavy.
Oh.
But for whatever reason, it's.
Yeah, it's definitely inside of it is hollow.
All right, now I don't remember which way.
Box.
Oh, almost. Can I have the neoprene mat? All right, so now we got whatever this box is.
Probably has a big version of, like, a tiny version of me in it, because for some special, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
Oh, come on.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh, you did? You're just waiting for me to fail?
I hear money. It's my money.
It's money in there?
It's my money. There's money. Told you there's money.
Alright, and so
Money.
no money. Instead, what we got is a few more dice.
I'm boring this.
We got the kind of little posts here. And some more trays. And then we got, I believe...
A puzzle.
Yeah, I believe... I don't know. I can't remember. Is this a dice tower? Yeah, it's a dice tower.
And a puzzle.
So this will actually allow you to roll dice. It'll be really cool. And along with all the stickers.
I call it a puzzle.
Alright, next up we got the screen protectors. And they are actually by Paladin, which is nice.
I'll
And
open this one. Okay. Let me open this one.
And they have all the different sizes you need here. Including small, medium. I guess that's extra small, medium. Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh, these feel super hard, Dad. You won't be able to read those. I
Oh,
bet I
hopefully
could.
not. Well, I'm not trying to rip them on purpose, per se. And you got your mediums and... So, you got a whole bunch of sizes here, so you can get everything. Let's go ahead and get a... that's probably a more normal sized one here. Just so we can kind of see the quality of them, huh? Got our test subject here.
Are you going to put the card in there and try to rip it? Do you need help?
I probably.
He never lets me do anything.
Alright, now double package. That's how you know it's quality. And here we go. So you can kind of see how transparent it is. Pretty nice and transparent. It's a gloss, not a matte, so it will reflect. And quite thick. But they will split. Do you see that? So be a little careful there. That was a pretty quick split. Normally you want them to kind of hold up a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to have to get another one now.
Ooh,
Hopefully you got like one. No. I might actually still need that. I don't know.
I want to rip it.
So when you're doing that, don't like just rip them. However, that fits very nicely. You got a good amount of edge, just enough on the top, which is my main concern, and then on the sides so as not to bend it. So that is a very good sleeve, perfect for the card itself.
Are we going to look at every single one of these?
No, just don't try to pull them. Pinch them. All right, now here we have the neoprene mat. This is, I mean, if you get a good quality one, this is what you always want to get. This is going to be nicer. So right off the bat, I can tell you it has this stitching here that is fantastic. The stitching will make it to where it's not fraying quite as quick or anything like that. It's not just like a mouse pad. So it's actually a really quality kind of mat here. Very nicely textured and grippy. So I imagine it's going to grip the floor. Yes, very nicely. And then you get this beautiful art on it. Let me move all this aside here. You got this amazing art. Looks awesome. And this is kind of where you can play off of. And you even have up here your where you put all your cards and stuff like that. So it's built into it. And then, of course, you got the Mythic Games representing there. What a great piece here. Very, very happy with this. Yeah, this looks great. No wrinkles. It wasn't folded or anything like that. It comes right out of the box. And no weird smell. It doesn't smell like fish. Doesn't smell like nothing. It just smells like maybe kind of like a mouse pad. Not strong at all. The time has come for the dragon. Hang on. I gotta get the tape out. The legendary dragon. The dragon of legend.
That sounds like me. Like, doesn't it?
Okay. Get in the back. Same as what we're used to here.
Back.
That's right.
Oh, here's a hole. A tiny hole.
This one's a little tight here. Don't pick at it. I got it.
Oh, there's one. Like, just imagine if this was your skin.
Gross.
I know. There it goes.
You guys into Silent Hill.
Yeah, just.
All right.
Just open it. Just open it.
I know you're excited.
Just open it.
Oh, I love, by the way, the claw marks here. They look really good.
Claw marks.
And
yeah.
then I'm just going to delay it. I never actually commented on the thickness of the boxes themselves, but they're nice and firm.
Okay, yeah. Nobody cares about that. Just open it. Nobody cares about that stuff.
All right. And then on here.
We don't need this.
Oh, sure you do.
No.
To postpone a little bit more. You definitely get your Archangel Michael card and all that kind of fun stuff, and then
nobody cares about that.
Everybody cares.
Well,
and your little pamphlet with your like one scenario on them. It's important. And you get the cardboard. All right, so you get that at the very bottom. That's important.
The only thing that's important is the dragon.
Okay. Remove that?
No.
All right, you'll get to see them then. All right. And then...
Don't take your time. Don't.
On here...
The dragon.
Get the... Oh, and then one other thing is... It actually says Legendary Dragon here on it, which is kind of nice. And I never commented on the fact that they put the symbol on here, but that's... You guys want to see the dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, and now, you realize after this we're done, right? There's no more.
Yes.
Okay.
Just go with the dragon.
And here is a dragon.
Oh.
Now, first things first, Archangel Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Again, very good symbols here. Very nicely done. Wings are cool. I like the, he's got kind of special wings. They're really thick on the top like that, which is very cool. I like that. I like that his foot goes through that, which is also very neat. It means this is more ethereal than like a cape or a robe or something. Kind of like a, maybe even wind.
What he's trying to say about the box is that it looks very cool.
And you got the little cannoneer people. Good luck with that. All right.
Yeah.
Now, this is a wing.
I want a wing. I want to put one on me.
And that is a wing. And that's a dragon.
Oh, not that big.
No. What happened?
I scratched myself.
Oh, did you? Because you're cool. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to have to... Hold on. Now, I do appreciate the dimples here. It means I can turn it upside down and it will not get all messed up. But he's tied in here, so I'm going to untie him here.
I saw a wing. Or unicorn one.
Come on.
Awkward one.
Come on. Oh, this is like looped around.
Okay, let me help.
Oh, they're being trolls here.
I know how to do it. Just
There
pull.
we go. Nice. Oh, just pull.
Just pull.
All right. Do that again.
That's so tiny.
I'm not going to get this dragon out, guys. All right.
Okay.
You want to move that?
Set it down. I want to see.
Now, we got to fit... Yeah, we'll do the skill in a second here. We got to fit these wings on here.
This. We're one on.
Okay, so you can see there was a bigger and a smaller part. Go ahead.
Whoa, his wings are gonna fall out. It's like wiggly tooth.
Here.
Tooth, whatever they call it. That look is like almost touching the wall.
Yeah, he is. All right, so this is the dragon. Now, again, these do not just sit in, so you are going to have to somehow either glue him in, but then he's never going back in that box, or something else. But it's not just a pressure lock-in thing.
Take them in.
I'm going to keep them on display, so that I'm okay with that. But they're very heavy. But was kind of unexpected. I thought maybe it would fit together kind of nicely on its own. But that is...
I think he's trying to give me a heart attack.
The final dragon. And as you can see, the scale is quite large.
You could even put it
Alright, so I'm going to take these wings off a little bit just because I'm going to end up nicking my wall or something here. So again, the basing, very cool. if you notice here, there was actually some rubble attached to the tail, so it's like he just landed here and like it's crumbling and moving off, which is very neat. That's a cool idea.
Tail's not
I
attached.
like that. Yeah, it's not attached. It is a loose tail. The mouth, obviously, again, it's going to be the centerpiece. The eyes are very well done. All of it's very, very good here. Really happy with this. So they actually, again, installed it here. You can kind of see a little bit of gap here. When it comes to scales, gap isn't necessarily bad. If it's more than you like, you can fill it. If not, don't worry about it. Attached here almost perfectly. I'm really happy with that.
Dad, I have a question.
And then here, this is probably the biggest gap. I will have to fill that in, but it'll smooth out pretty okay.
That's the biggest gap.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty big gap too.
Dad, I have a question.
Yes.
I can paint this whole thing.
Yeah, so do you guys want me to paint this dragon?
Yeah.
Maybe I should, I guess.
I'll paint half and you paint half.
Oh, yeah, like half and half, like Two-Face?
Yeah.
Alright, guys, you know what? That is everything you get from an all-in of Wave 1 of Times of Legend Joan of Arc.
He's eating his wing.
Guys, if you appreciated this video and the, however long this video ended up taking to film, I'm scared about editing and publishing it, but be sure to press that thumbs up button. We always appreciate it. It makes you happy, right, Kaylin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see? So it should make her happy. Press that like button. Again, comment below on, besides the dragon, what else you'd like me to see paint. I could maybe do a thing on like how to paint a tiny miniature, maybe like one of these guys. Maybe you want to see something cool like one of the monsters or an angel or the devil. Yeah, there's all that kind of stuff too. Anyway, let me know in the comments below on that. And obviously, if you want to see my review on this and future painting videos on this and many other games, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification icon so that you actually see when I post videos, because otherwise Google won't show it to you. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.